The Renaissance. But who's paying for all this? Easy. The people give money to the Pope, and the Pope gives them less time in purgatory. Yeah, this is really corrupt. It's time for some brave man to speak out against this. Martin Luther? No, it's Huss. He's gonna reform the church. You can make a denomination out of this. Except it fails and he gets executed. That's too bad. Maybe try again in 100 years. Martin Luther has something to say. 95 things, actually, so he nails them to the door of the church. Maybe he can fix the church. Except no, he gets kicked out. But churches keep siding with him, and doing the Reformation anyway. So he begins reforming the church's teachings, saying that salvation's by faith alone, purgatory's not real, and the Bible is our ultimate authority. I wonder if it's happening anywhere else. It is actually, in Switzerland. What if we could unite the two Reformations and reform the entire church? So Luther meets with Zwingli, the head of the Swiss Reformation, to see if they agree on the issues. Bro, what do you think about the Lord's Supper? So the bread isn't really the body of Christ. What do you mean? He says, "This is my body." Well, is means represents. No, is means is. Is means is. Calm down, Luther. Get out, Zwingli. So that failed, and now there's two Reformations. You can make denominations out of this. And there's also some radicals who don't want to be part of either because they want to change everything, and that means not baptizing babies. You can make a denomination out of this. Man, all these reformations going on, says King Henry VIII. Don't worry, Pope, I will never leave you. Bro, you can't divorce your wife, says the Pope. So Henry cancels the Pope and makes himself the head of the Church of England. You can make a denomination out of this. Looks like Zwingli just died, so John Calvin is predestined to take over the Reformation in Switzerland. And he's predestined to write a big book about a bunch of stuff, including the fact that God's in control of everything, especially whether or not you'll be saved. And he wants to unify with the Lutherans, so he modifies the Reformed view of the Lord's Supper. He says we really do receive the body and blood of Christ, just spiritually. He sends them his view, but they're predestined to leave him unread. John Knox takes Calvin's Reformed ideas to Scotland, and makes it so that the church is run by elders. You can make a denomination out of this. But the Church of England still isn't sure whether it's Reformed or Catholic. I guess it's somewhere in the middle. Bro, that's not good enough, say the Puritans, trying to purify the Church of England of everything Catholic. You can make a denomination out of this. Some of them give up on trying to purify the church and just run away to America. So all this questioning of religious authority is leading people to question everything, which leads to the Enlightenment. America questions whether they need a king. France goes even further and questions whether they need God. I bet they're going to be the most enlightened people ever. Oh wait, no, they just killed everyone. Let's not do that. People try to rebuild Christianity from scratch. You can make a bunch of denominations out of this, some of which are actually heretical. I wonder how the Catholics are doing. I haven't checked in on them in a while. They just had a council where they said the Pope can make infallible statements. Things are pretty crazy for the Protestants, too. They're being influenced by the Enlightenment, which leads to theological liberalism, which is basically where Christians stop believing in Christianity. You see, now we're enlightened. We know miracles can't happen because there's no examples of them happening, because all supposed examples of miracles have a natural explanation, because everything has a natural explanation, because miracles can't happen. Makes perfect sense. So there's no virgin birth, no divine revelation, Jesus didn't do any miracles, and there's no resurrection. Bro, you're denying the fundamentals of Christianity, say the fundamentalists, yelling at the modernists who are beginning to take over the mainstream churches. But the instinct of the fundamentalists isn't really to reform the churches, it's more like they want to run away, because they're still coming out of the Great Awakening. And they're beginning to distrust everything mainstream, like mainstream schools, mainstream universities, mainstream science, and they want to retreat from the cities because they think Jesus is going to come back anyway, so they should just retreat to the rural areas until that happens. And with the fundamentalists gone, it just makes the mainline churches even more theologically liberal. Yo, a bunch of people just had some serious spiritual experiences on Azusa Street. You can make a denomination out of this. Hey, can pastors be women? Yes, said the liberals. No, said the conservatives. And the liberals win, so the conservatives get kicked out. Actually, no, they don't really get kicked out. But they run away anyway, and they make their own evangelical denominations, which only causes the mainline church to get more theologically liberal. Hey, can marriage be gay? Yes, said the liberals. No, said the conservatives. And the liberals win, so the conservatives run away again. And at this point, the mainline churches are so theologically liberal that most of the churches within them don't even really believe in Christianity at all. So if you're in America and you go to the old historic church in the center of any given town, like First Presbyterian Church or First Methodist Church or First Anything Church, chances are it's a mainline church that's so theologically liberal it doesn't even have any real Christian believers in it. There's evangelical churches that have a lot of passionate believers, but they're kind of on the outskirts of society. So Western Christendom is basically dead, unless we retake the mainline church.